What if I told you that failure isn't the end of the road, but the most crucial part of the journey? Every great achievement you admire, from breathtaking art to groundbreaking inventions, has been built on a mountain of failures. And yet, we live in a world that fears failure like a plague. Let's redefine it. Failure isn't a dead end, it's a signpost. It's the universe's way of teaching us something we couldn't learn by doing it right the first time. Think about it. When was the last time success taught you as much as failure? Success feels good, sure, but failure makes us grow. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, knew this. He wrote in his that obstacles don't block the path, they are the path. Today we might call this resilience or grit, but the principle is timeless. It's not about avoiding failure, but transforming it into the fuel that drives us forward. Let me ask you this. Do you know anyone who's never failed? It's impossible. Failure is universal. But what separates those who thrive from those who stagnate is how they view and handle failure. While some see it as a reason to stop, others see it as the ultimate opportunity to improve. Take Thomas Edison, for example. He famously said, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Imagine if he had stopped at the 9,999th attempt. Imagine a world without the light bulb. Edison didn't let failure stop him because he understood that every misstep brought him closer to success. But here's the thing. We often romanticize the successful end of the story and ignore the ugly, painful process it takes to get there. We hide our failures, we're embarrassed by them, and sometimes we let them define us. That stops now. Let's talk about how to fail better. First, embrace failure as a process, not a punishment. Failure is a feedback loop. It's data, not a judgment. When you hit a roadblock, don't wallow, evaluate. Ask yourself, what did I learn? How can I use this? Failure isn't failure if it teaches you something. Second, detach your self-worth from your mistakes. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, argued that external events don't determine your happiness. Only your reaction to them does. In a world obsessed with likes, shares, and approval, this wisdom is more relevant than ever. You are not your failures, you are what you do next. Third, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. Whether you're trying to write a novel, start a business, or simply improve yourself, failure is proof you're stretching beyond your limits. And that's where life happens. Now let's address the elephant in the room, fear. Fear of failure paralyzes more dreams than actual failure ever could. We don't try because we might fail. But here's a thought. What if you try? That's the only guaranteed failure. Every time you take a risk, you're defying that fear and giving yourself a chance. There's something deeper at play here. Our societal obsession with perfection. Social media bombards us with highlight reels of other people's lives. We see their successes, their awards, their picture-perfect moments, but we never see the struggles, the late nights, or the failed attempts that came before the victory. This distorts reality and makes failure feel shameful when, in truth, it's necessary. Consider athletes. Olympians don't win gold medals without falling, crashing, or missing the mark hundreds of times during practice. Serena Williams didn't become a tennis legend by winning every game. She learned through losses and used them to refine her strategy. Failure is the crucible where greatness is forged, and it's not just in sports or science. Even in our personal lives, failure is a teacher. Maybe you faced rejection, didn't get that job, ended a relationship, or lost an opportunity. It hurts, doesn't it? But think about how those moments shaped you. They pushed you to grow, to adapt, to understand what truly matters. The hardest moments in life often teach us the most profound lessons. Now let's flip the script. Instead of fearing failure, let's celebrate it. Every failure is a badge of honor, a sign that you dared to step into the arena. You tried, and trying matters more than anything. As Brené Brown puts it, you can choose courage or you can choose comfort, but you cannot choose both. But courage isn't about being fearless, it's about acting despite fear. You don't have to conquer failure, you have to learn to walk with it. You have to see it as your ally, not your enemy. When you embrace failure, you unlock your potential. You stop holding back. You take the risks that matter, and you start to grow into the person you were always meant to be. So how do we start? Here are 3 things you can do today. First, reframe your failures. Instead of saying, "I failed," say, "I experimented." Experiments aren't supposed to be perfect, they're supposed to teach you something. Second, keep a failure journal. Write down your setbacks, reflect on what went wrong, and outline what you'll do differently next time. Third, surround yourself with people who embrace growth. Your community matters. Find people who will celebrate your efforts, not just your results. And remember, every failure you face is temporary. It feels permanent in the moment, but it's not. Time and persistence will carry you forward. Each failure is a stepping stone. Each setback is a setup for a comeback. You're not failing, you're evolving. Failing isn't fun, it's messy, it hurts, and it's often lonely. But it's also the price of admission to a meaningful life. You can't succeed without it. The question isn't, how do I avoid failure? It's, how can I use failure to build something better? So go out there, fail spectacularly, fail so loudly that the whole world knows you're trying, and then rise. Every scar you earn is proof that you're alive, growing, and unafraid to chase something bigger. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more modern meditations.